The answer choices to this question make it very clear that we are testing two different grammar rules. So let's make sure we understand them, and we're going to start with the one that you must know, the one that's much more important for the SAT, the difference between then and than. THAN is used when we are making a comparison of some kind. THEN usually involves time, but it's also just kind of the word we use in pretty much every other situation. So if there's a comparison, you want that A. So let's look here. Of the dozens of paintings attributed to the artist, less than 6 have been subjected to rigorous forensic analysis. So they're comparing, they're kind of talking about number. Maybe that's another way to think about it. Number or degree, something about the way that the numbers are mentioned and compared is going to mean that we need to have an AN. And so in this case, that's going to be the first thing that we can decide. Now, the difference between less and fewer is a lot harder. We often say this particular rule wrong when we talk to our friends. And so it might sound a little weird to pick the right answer here, but D is the right answer. Now, the real difference, this is hard, is that less is a word we use for things that are uncountable, and fewer is a word we use when things are countable. So in this case, it's very obvious that this is a countable thing, right? There are 6 paintings, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can count the paintings, okay? So that is a countable thing. Therefore, we need to use fewer to represent that. An example of less would be something that's a little harder to pin down, right? Maybe we could say the artist spent less time on this painting than on this sculpture, right? So less time, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times? No, time is something that's a little harder. We can kind of measure it in minutes and seconds, but it's not as easy to kind of chop up into distinct pieces. And so another good example might be something like effort. The artist you had put in less effort on this painting than on this sculpture. Well, again, it's not like 5 efforts to 4 efforts. Effort doesn't work that way. So that's a word where we would use less, where it's kind of harder to pin down. It's a little more vague and kind of abstract, and so it's an uncountable thing. Basically, if you can put numbers to it, even if it's a really, really big number, then you still need to put a word like fewer to kind of account for that. It's a less tested rule, less commonly tested, but it is something that comes up from time to time. So hopefully this video just is enough that if you see it, you get these points on your test.